finish off. We're gonna finish with the new Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks. And I know, you know, I know change can be scary, and ultimately the change was needed in Seattle. And once, you had Pete Carroll step down and he got an office job in Seattle, and then he got the Raiders job. There was questions under Mike McDonald, like, he was a defensive coordinator with the Ravens under John Harbaugh for a year or two. So again, Mike McDonald coming into his first head coaching job in year two, especially coming into the Seahawks, there was a lot of questions under Mike McDonald, being a young head coach at 37, 38 years old, only been a defensive coordinator for like 2 years. So there was huge questions over Mike McDonald and what could he do with the Seattle Seahawks. Could he turn them around? And kind of year one didn't do much with this team, but year one you could really see that he was implementing what he wanted to do with his team. The signings that they made, D'Anthony Bell, safety from the Browns, River Crawford, front wide receiver. They signed Sam Darnold in the offseason, Josh Jones, Cooper Kupp I thought was a great addition. They gave Cooper Kupp and Sam Darnold 3-year deals. DeMarcus Lawrence came in from the Cowboys on a 3-year deal at defensive end. Steve Sims came in from the Ravens. Marquez Skating came in on a year deal. And then there was a big overhaul in getting the old heads away. Like, there was a big overhaul in releasing guys that, again, I felt kind of outstayed their usefulness. Like Geno Smith, again, I said it in the Raiders review a couple weeks, like 2 weeks ago now. He's going to be kicking himself. Like, he again requested a trade to go to the Raiders to work on the Pete Carroll. And then if he stayed the season, he could have had a Super Bowl ring. Geno Smith could have had a Super Bowl ring instead of having 3 and 14 wins. But yeah, Geno Smith got traded away to the Raiders. Noah Fant got traded away to the Bengals at tight end. DK Metcalf got traded to Pittsburgh. Tyler Lockett got traded to the Tennessee Titans, and then Drummond Jones, defensive end, got traded to the Titans as well. So in this offseason, obviously, there was focus heavily on the defense side of the ball. Obviously, it was with a defensive end coach. Greg Zabel, guard from North Dakota State in the first round, 18th overall. Nick Emmanuel Awari, safety from South Carolina. Tight end Elijah Arrow from Miami. They traded away a couple of picks to the Titans and Skid Marks and the Giants and the Vikings and Steelers and Jacksonville. So they traded away a couple of picks so they get some cap space for 2026, and they had that, so they don't have to worry about cap space for like 2026 to 2027. Then they drafted Jalen Milroe as the backup quarterback from Alabama, which I don't think was a bad option. Riley Mills, defensive end from Notre Dame. Troy Horton, wide receiver from Colorado State. Robbie Oates from Alabama. Bryce Coldrew, offensive tackle. Damian Martinez, running back from Miami, and then Mason Richmond from Iowa, offensive tackle, and then Ricky White, wide receiver from UNLV. And then you look at really the weapons they have, like defensively, they have Kobe Bryant, they have Nick Emmanuel, they have Josh Joby, Julian Love. They have some good additions on the defense. Devin Witherspoon, who was great at the Super Bowl. And then, they had, again, Jackson and Jigby coming. I think Cooper Kupp was the signing of the season for this team. Especially, again, I know he wasn't productive in the Super Bowl as much, but again, having somebody like Cooper Kupp in this team and in any other team is just crucial, because the experience he has, especially with this team and a young head coach, and especially because, again, the morale that he will bring to this, that he brought to this locker room in 2025 was fantastic. And that's where I think, again, the credit goes to Mike McDonald and his incredible defense. But when you've got a leader like Cooper Kupp coming in, who's won a Super Bowl and who has been to a couple, who's been under Sean McVay and won a Super Bowl, you know, been there and done it, comes into this Seattle team, again, a lot of young guys coming in, and to be kind of that leader in the locker room, I just think it's fantastic. Drake Young as well is another addition on that wide receiving core. And then you look at their schedule here. Like, they started off like 2-1, so not the best of starts for Seattle, but they go into the bye week of week 8 and they're 5-2, and then they come out of the bye week and they have kind of a tough schedule. Like, they got the Rams, they got the 49ers, they got the Rams twice because it's a division game, and then the Cardinals division game, and then they had the Commanders. So they beat the Commanders on the road. They got a great. They lost to the Rams on the road. They beat the Vikings. They get a great win against the Colts. Get a great win at home to the Rams. That was a fantastic game, by the way, in overtime, 38-37 overtime. So it's fantastic. They beat the 49ers. Sam Darnold had one of his best years. I think, one of his best years. Sam Darnold had over 4,448 passing yards, and he won a Lombardi. He won the Super Bowl ring. Kenneth Walker was the MVP in the Super Bowl for 2025. He got over 1,027 rushing yards. Jackson Jigbeer got over 1,793 receiving yards. They did lose their offensive coordinator, Clint Kabak, to the Raiders after the Super Bowl. They don't have a lot of draft picks. They only have a first round pick, a second round pick, a third, and a sixth round pick. They have a new offensive coordinator, Brian Fleur, who again was part of the 49ers run game. So this is Brian Fleur's first offensive coordinating job. They were third in offense. They had the third best offense out of 32. They had the best defense in the league by a country mile, first out of 32. And and just how good this team was. Like, they beat the 49ers 41-6. They completely destroyed the 49ers in the divisional round. I think it was at the 49ers. Then they beat the Rams, which again, a division game, and the Rams have got experience at winning a Super Bowl. And then they go to the Super Bowl. So they win the NFC Championship. They beat the 49ers in the division round. They beat the Rams in the NFC Championship game. Then they go to the Super Bowl. And then, yeah, the Super Bowl wasn't amazing. It wasn't one of those amazing games where you look back at Super Bowl 60 and go, wow, that was such a good game. It was one of those games where, again, if you're whoever you are, if you're a Seattle fan, if you're a Seahawks fan or whatever, you don't care how your team wins a Super Bowl. As long as you see your team win a Super Bowl and they're lifting that Lombardi trophy up, it doesn't matter how you win the game. And it was a very defensive-minded game, very much a Bears football 1980s, fucking defensive-minded. But again, it didn't matter how they won the game. They beat the Patriots 29-13, and Kenneth Walker was fantastic. I thought, Devin Witherspoon was fantastic. What a draft pick Devin Witherspoon was a number of years ago, back in 2023. And Sam Darnold came from the 2018 quarterback draft class with Lamar Jackson, multi-time MVP Lamar Jackson, a multi-time MVP in Josh Allen. And out of those three guys, Sam Darnold reached the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl before those two guys. It's just crazy how that happened. Like, he, again, as I said, it's kind of been a bit of a journeyman of Sam Darnold, but hopefully, I don't know if he's going to stay past 2026, but whatever happens with Sam Darnold's career, he has definitely won us an absolute ring. He's absolutely immortalized, and the needs for this team definitely, I think, just keep beefing up the offense. I think just carry on what you can do, and I think if you look at Seattle, if they can build off this and not do what the Eagles did last year, where the Eagles won Super Bowl last year and didn't really capitalize on it in 2025. If the Seahawks can build off this and kind of dominate the NFC West for a couple of years, and they can sort of build off this, then it'll be an interest, especially when you've got teams like the 49ers in this division, and you have the Rams, and you know what I mean? I'm not even putting the Cardinals in there because, they're divided, but you're going to face the 49ers and the Rams, two teams that are definitely going to be there or thereabouts. And here's the 49ers, Seahawks. Just again, it's just this is the case in point here, where when you get the right head coach in, and everybody's just on the same page, the right quarterback, the right head coach, it works. And I know that apparently the Seahawks owners are going to sell up, maybe. I don't know much about that. Apparently they was going to sell up to look for buyers. Who knows? But yeah. Bye guys.